I am not a very perceptive person. I've decided to share with you an example of this, a story from a few years ago, at a convention. I was about 17 and it was around 3 a.m. I had just finished up a really long game of Cards Against Humanity, I was still in cosplay, and since the tabletop room was still open, I decided to hang out there. I was even less perceptive than usual due to the lack of sleep. This is where our antagonist comes in. We'll call him Brad, because I'm not good at coming up with names. He's taller than me, and at the time I thought he was attractive, and looking back I realized that my taste is questionable at best when I'm tired. So we were chatting, I was laying on the floor while we talked, and we joked around a little bit, and he suggests we go to the food court, then try to catch one of the last panels before they stopped until the event started up again the next day. And if you know anything about me, you know food is the easiest way to get me to do things. So I agreed. And I went with this person who was basically a stranger. Admittedly, I'm a pretty friendly person, and since most of my friends are girls, I wasn't used to guys talking to me, partially due to all my friends being 10 times cuter than I am. So I was enjoying the slight chance that he might be flirting with me, while entirely missing the fact that he was in fact actually flirting with me. I'm not smart. So we get some McDonald's from the food court, and we begin our trek around the maze that is this convention center, looking for the panel we wanted to go to. Once we got there, we found out it had been moved. We gave up because we didn't want to trek back to the other side of the con just for the panel. So we decided to just sit and talk for a little bit, and after a while I realized I really needed to get back to my room so I could sleep and get changed into my next cosplay, so we swapped phone numbers and parted ways. Fast forward to the next night of the con, around 8, he asks to meet up to go to a panel of an anime we both liked. So we located each other and then we found our panel. And the panel was boring at best, but we ended up talking more, and once we got out of the panel room, I had pulled out my DS to check the street passes I had gotten, because you gotta finish all them puzzles, you know. He asked me something, and we had been standing kind of close together, so when I looked up, we were basically face to face, and then he pulled me closer and kissed me. And it was then that I actually realized, holy what, he had been flirting with me, and at the time, no clue. I was dumb as a brick. I hadn't been imagining it. I hadn't been making up this situation in my head. It was a thing. As someone who wasn't really used to male attention, needless to say, my blood pressure went through the roof, and I forgot how to speak properly. And in my daze, we decided to go to the video game room and meet someone he knows. And this girl, she is gorgeous. She's got long, curly brown hair, and it's shiny and bouncy, even though it should have been sweaty because it was obvious she had been wearing the wig she was holding with her. She had big brown eyes. She was amazing looking. Like, it was ridiculous. She was on another plane of existence. I'll call her Holly. I am speechless because of how pretty she is, and because I'm still dazed from the surprise sneak attack mode kiss this dude had just planted on me, like, not even 5 minutes before. So the three of us hang out. I exchange numbers with her once we find out we're both Otome Sim trash. And she has to go, hugs us both, and she seemed hesitant to hug me, which I didn't question at the time because I had just met her, and not everyone is as friendly to strangers as I am. Maybe that's just me being really stupid and trusting strangers. The point remains. Brad and I continued to hang out, we played games, I played DDR, sucked really bad at it. He kissed my cheek before we left again, and I went back to my room, much earlier compared to the day before. And I didn't see him the last day of the con, but he did text me to let me know he got home safe. Fast forward 2 weeks. I've been texting Brad a lot. I got a text from Brad's number very suddenly after a long, sort of intense text chat, and he said he felt too guilty to keep talking to me, and that he was still with his girlfriend, and cheating on her with me was too much. This was the first I had heard of him even being in a relationship. Boy! He says he's dating Holly, of all people, and he wants to make it work with her. and asks me not to mention anything to her. So obviously I text Holly because I have no chill, and if it were me, I'd want to know. She seems upset, but thanks me. And 4 hours later, I get another text from Brad, and he is frantically trying to explain himself, saying that he didn't text me, that she's crazy, and he also let it slip that they still live together, which was a whole different bag of worms. And Holly is texting me trying to say no, she's not crazy, and she didn't text me from his number, and that she had no clue what he had been doing. The whole thing was already ridiculous, and it was just getting more ridiculous. They were both texting me trying to convince me of different sides of the story. He was telling me that she was crazy, his friends could vouch that she was crazy, but his story kept changing every time I asked something. Details just kept changing, and after a long while of him trying to text me and explain, I blocked his number. I apologized to Holly, and I wished her all the best before deleting her number. Because honestly, she was way out of his league. Back then, and looking back, just way out of his league. To the point where I wouldn't believe that she was crazy and obsessed with him to that point. And the way she reacted seemed like this wasn't a new thing, but that it was something she had thought he had stopped doing. Which just made me really sad for her. I hope she's doing well. I should look her up on Facebook. The moral of the story is, I don't really think there's a moral to this story, other than the fact that I'm not that smart, which isn't really a moral. People are weird and they don't really make sense most of the time. Maybe that's why I spend so much time on the computer. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye!